Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Amber Rain Davis with NotableInk.com. I'm thrilled to be participating in Simon Says Stamps December 2018 release. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different card for me today. I'll be featuring a Gatefold vellum card with some partial die cutting. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be using Simon's Diecember die Decorative Hamsa. This is a beautifully intricate die that has two frames around the hand, which appears to have a henna design on it. Absolutely beautiful. I started off with a piece of vellum that is 8.5 by 5.5 inches in size, and I'm going to score it on my score buddy at 2 1/8 and 6 3/8. This will create an A2 size gatefold card. So I'm going to be using this vellum as basically a card wrap or a card sleeve, and I'll be creating just a flat card out of some design paper that's going to slide into that sleeve. So totally different for me, but I thought it would be fun to try. I was really inspired by this particular die that looked like a hand. I thought the wrap could be two hands kind of holding the card, if you will. So we'll do some partial die cutting. I have one of the small Sizzix plates here, and what I've done is lined that up with the score line. So the edge of my plate is exactly lined up with that score line. I taped my die down on the vellum where I wanted to cut, and the only area that's going to cut is what is underneath the plate. Anything that's not under the plate won't cut. So we'll go ahead and take this off and look at it. And you can see that it cut exactly just right down to that line, which is perfect. So I think that turned out really nicely. It's lined up just right with that edge. So the trick to that is really just making sure that you get the edge of your plate right flush with that score line. You can also do this with a regular size plate. I just find that the small ones are a little easier to manage. They also have a straight edge. They don't have that bevel edge that is on the regular big shot plates. So I taped my die down on the other side of the vellum, and I went ahead and ran that through the big shot. And so after I peel this up, you can see that the pieces stay in place pretty well on the mat there. And so I'm just going to put a full sticky post-it note over that and pick it up. I don't have any plans for this card to use these as like an inlay die cut or anything like that, but it seemed like a waste not to pick them up since they were lined up so nicely. So I'm just, making sure that everything is peeling up with it, and I've got them all together in case I want to use that on another card. So one of the things that I didn't do before I did my die cutting is fold the gate card all the way in, and I kind of wish I had done that. I think it would have made it easier if I had folded it just the once and then unfolded it to bend the cut parts. So I'm just going in and I'm scoring those hands again just to make sure that I get a good fold on those, because it's a little bit awkward to get those folded, but it ended up working out just fine. But one of the things I would recommend if you're going to make this card is to go ahead and score and fold them and then open up your card and die cut it then. I think it would be easier to fold those if you do it that way. So this one folded pretty nicely. When I go to do the other side, one of the things that you'll see is I didn't have my plate lined up perfectly like the first one, and so my cutting extended just a little bit past the score line. And so then when I fold these over, I end up folding them a little too far. Excuse my hair there. So what I'm doing now is just inlaying those pieces in there, and I'm going to kind of move my fingers back, shift my fingers back, and get it folded in the correct space. So prior to this, they were folded too far and they were overlapping the vellum. And so see how there's that slack there? So I'm just going to now fold it in the correct place once they're inlaid in there. So should that happen, that you know how to correct that. And so I'm just making sure that I've got a really nice fold. You want to be pretty gentle with your scoring using your tool. The vellum can start to crack. So I've cut a piece of design paper. This paper was from a Simon Says Stamp card kit that I had. So I cut a piece of that paper just slightly smaller than 4 1/4 so that it would slide right into the vellum wrap. And I'm going to stamp this with Simon Says Stamp Soft Navy ink. And this Sentiment You Are Strong is from the Spiritual Sentiment stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. That came out with the Stamptember release. So I'll double stamp that to make sure it's good and dark. And I love this paper. I thought it went really nicely with the die. And so what I was thinking is like this would be a flat card. It would slide into here and then I would go ahead and write my message on the back of the card. And so then you can see the vellum acts as a card wrap. You can see through it. You can also see the sentiment a little bit. And I just think it's just a really unique looking card. It's going to mail nicely. It'll stay nice and flat in the envelope, but it's just really unique, and I just really enjoyed making it. I thought it was a lot of fun to do something different. Here are some close-ups of the card so that you can see the details of that awesome die. And you can see the card in different views with it closed and open. I hope you enjoyed this card and feel inspired to give this technique a try. If you did, please hit the like button below and be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of the other cards in this set for this Diecember release. I'll have 3 other cards in this set. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Notable Ink. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'll put a link to 2 other videos at the end so that you can check those out as well. Thank you so much. Have a great day.